You're listening to iCannabisRadio.com.
And good evening.
Hi, happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you.
Today is the 15th of September. For those of you who are businesses who have extended your tax filing, today was the day.
Fun. There's a lot going on tomorrow, too.
Beyond filing your tax. Yeah, tomorrow is where people are like, oh, either I'm so freaking poor because I just paid. Actually, you had to pay anyway. But
Oh, no. Tomorrow, a lot of rules are going to change.
I know.
Lots going on.
I hate when that happens.
Does your microphone smell like...
Bad breath.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I'll Lysol in my...
You know what? I have some bubble gum. I want to make it smell like bubble gum. Does anyone else want some bubble gum? Gabe, I know you're a bubblegum boy. Mm-hmm. Now, are you a one-piece or a two-piece?
I'm a one-piece.
You're a one-piece?
I like the little bubbles.
Shelby, one or two?
Just one.
Okay. You don't gum, do you? No. And you don't gum either, do you?
No.
But tonight? Chris, do you gum?
I do.
Okay. So now everything in here is going to smell like bubble gum?
As long as it doesn't sound like...
Oh, no. If you do that, or if you... make your flip-flaps make that flip-flap noise, I will have nothing to do with you. There are very few things that I have zero tolerance for.
Shelby.
Shelby's got one of them.
I was like, wait, who the fuck's doing this?
If you don't know how to prevent it, you should not be wearing flip-flops.
I mean, I shouldn't be wearing flip-flops, but that's fine.
The way to prevent it is and it's not something that you have to do intensely, you just hold on with your toes. That's it. And then the shoes go with you. They don't go flip-flop, 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 flip-flop. I want to beat people like that.
So you curl your toes the whole time you're walking?
No. It doesn't take much. You just have to hold on a little bit. Here's the thing. Girls are great at it because we wear all kinds of shoes that don't surround our entire feet. So we're really accustomed to thinking through ensuring that we stay upright. Every step for eternity. Sometimes it's a burden, huh? Sometimes it's a burden. So do not flip-flop with your flip-flops. Okay?
I just don't like flip-flops. I mean...
On you or...
Just on me.
On you.
Everybody else do what you got to do. But, like, I'm not a big flip-flop wearer. I like the ones that go around the back and they hold your feet in place. So they're kind of like shoes that are netted on the top or, have the different things on top that are like shoes with giant holes in them.
Yeah.
I like those.
So my son has, I'm going to do an ad for someone that doesn't pay us. Do you guys know what Keen sandals are? Keen makes a whole line of phenomenal outdoor shoes. And they're pricey and they're worth it because they last forever. They're great. So I would never buy my son a pair of these because he's a kid and his feet grow, I think, a shoe size every other month. But last fall, at the end of the summer season or with a clearance, I got him these great Keen sandals. He wore them every day this summer. He wore them in the water, in the lake, in the woods, over rock, everywhere. Fantastic. Walked forever, never got a blister. Fantastic. They broke last week.
Aw, that always sucks. How long have they been around?
Well, the company or his pair?
His pair.
I got him from like a year ago. And he really wore the heck out of them. I mean, he has flip-flops because, I'm from Florida. That's what we do. We do flip-flops.
That's why you looked at me like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Well,
you don't like flip-flops. No, they're fine.
They're great.
Just not for me.
Just not for you.
I don't like things between my toes.
Don't talk shit about flip-flops.
Gabe knows.
Like that. I couldn't do that. Like that would just be...
These are cute. You can't look at my toes, though, because, I'm training right now, and so I'm
So
losing.
you can't look at my toes, but...
I know,
like,
but
here
my
we
shoes
go.
are really cute. You can't... Because I'm training right now, my toenails are in the process of falling off.
Well,
I was walking somewhere yesterday with Warren, and I said, my toenails are seeping. He almost divorced me. Like, that was maybe the grossest thing he'd heard me say ever. You know what? It's just one of those things that happens. I posted this article on Run on Grass a while ago And it was something about the things that you learn when you are in a relationship with a runner. And there are just some of those things that you learn that you just ignore completely. Like, you ready for this one? So there's a rule when you run, at least there's a rule I have with Gavin and I have with myself. So when you're running and you have to wipe your nose, blow your nose, or what have you, I think it's gross when people just do it off the side. Like, use your sleeve.
Like the farmer blow?
Yeah, it's so vile. I don't know why people think that that's okay to do in public.
Well, because it's no longer a part of you. You're not taking it with you. It's much more sanitary to put on the ground so you, as another person, could run through it and track it.
That's unsanitary.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
I was just being sarcastic. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I have snot on my sleeves.
Gross.
It's cute snot. It's mine.
Sweet.
It's not sweet, I don't think. It's probably salty.
I don't know, man. You see kids eating them all the time.
Yeah,
It
what's
always
up with
has.
that? Were you a booger eater, Shelby?
I was never a booger eater.
Were your brothers and sisters booger
My
eaters?
sister, actually, I have a very funny story. She's probably going to hate me for sharing this.
Don't worry, we love you.
She was sitting on the couch one day, and she, like, picked a big booger out of her nose, and she's, like, looking at it, and she's like, this booger is making me hungry.
Gross.
Yeah.
Who looks at a booger and says that? Well, apparently your sister.
Yeah, apparently my sister.
But still.
She's adorable. That just makes her cuter.
Right.
It just makes her
It
cuter.
really
I don't know
does.
why. It does. She's adorable. Well, yeah. So there are these gross things. However, that has nothing to do with cannabis. Not even sort of, kind of.
You know what I don't think happened on last week's show?
Poop?
Exactly.
Yeah, we did. In fact, we did it early.
Did we? Mm-hmm. Are you sure? Because I
We
thought
pooped
about
early.
it later, and I was like, no, wait, did we really forget to squeeze in the word poop? Well, now that we did for this week, we're good now. But
I haven't told my poop story. So when
back for this one.
when it's not really it's more of a generalized poop story versus a personalized poop story. This is yet another runner
Thank
thing. You don't want to hear me talk about my personal poops?
Well, not particularly, but you know me. I'll listen to whatever.
So one of the things that happens, as you guys know, if you're feeling constipated or whatever, the best thing that you can do is move, right? If your belly hurts, you should get up and walk. Everyone knows that. And so imagine what happens when you run if you haven't pooped first. You get what's called the runner's trots because you have got to go.
I keep harassing my daughter about this, and
It's a thing.
She says that she's never experienced it, nor has Lisa.
If they poop first, if they always poop before they run, then it's fine. I've never had the runner's trots where I had an emergency. But my friend Seth sure did.
Right,
And
but would people share that story if they had?
oh yeah, runners talk about it's kind of like any of the people skiers do the same thing where they talk about, oh my God, I was out and I ended up peeing in my pants, or I had to go over and pee on a bush, or got behind the tree, and
You could ask our resident mountaineer here.
right?
What's your experience with not being able to find anywhere to excavate your...
I've fallen so hard where I caught just my butt cheeks.
Nice. We
Things I never thought Chris would tell us on the air.
We need the fifth microphone in here. The on the ceiling swivel one, so we can just swivel it to the person.
Oh my
we
God,
need
that
to-
is the best story.
That
See?
was a good story.
And that stuff just happens. But when you do something frequently, maybe even obsessively, then that stuff happens even more often. Are you texting a boy? Okay, good.
I'm looking for this poop story, actually.
Oh, good girl. So you're right. Today and tomorrow are pretty interesting days in the cannabis world in Colorado.
Quite.
Do you know what's happening tonight at the city council meeting?
Warren told me, and I can't remember because I started asking him a bunch of questions about tomorrow.
Which is why I'm late.
Shit. Yeah.
Because I can't come here until he goes there.
And that's what he said. He would, believe it or not, he was trying to get out. He's like, fuck, I have got to go. And it's like, okay, cool. Then I just got one more question for you. What are you guys doing this weekend? Because we have got VIP tickets.
Woo!
And that ate up 3 or 4 minutes because, boy, he slowed right down. Sorry.
Because this weekend is Riot Fest, which is a phenomenal music festival. Last year it was in Byers, Colorado, which is really nowhere, east of Denver. Go east of Denver, and then go some more
east of that. Yeah.
Go east of that. It is. Do you have the site up?
I could.
So Chicago was this past weekend, where, by the way, Pussy Riot made a surprise appearance.
Really? So are they all out and free?
Well, here's the thing that I understand. Pussy Riot apparently is, I thought it was like 4 women. Apparently it's 11 women, and they are like interchangeable because no one knows because they're wearing costumes and they don't really sing. They just yell at you. So yeah, there's all of these different members of Pussy Riot. And they all go by silly names or what have you. So my hope is, while I'm certainly not interested in being yelled at by Pussy Riot, I'm certainly interested in being able to say I saw them live in Mile High Stadium.
Right.
I just saw Ronell's underwear.
Well, all right.
I just want everyone to know that. They're gray.
Friday is Slayer.
Okay, Friday.
Ugh. So, you know what's really frustrating is that the 2 bands that I want to see the most are playing at the same time on
Which are
different
the bands I want to
stages.
see the least?
They're the
Primus
bands you want
and
to see
Slayer,
the least?
right?
Oh, what's wrong with you?
I don't understand.
If you want to understand Primus, I've got some paper at home. We can spend a plentiful hour together getting to know why Primus is so amazing, and they suck.
And they suck.
But if you're a Primus fan, you just know what that means.
Oh, okay.
So don't you can't say that.
I won't say that.
Okay. But still.
No, they're very, very popular. So
So
Friday.
on Friday, there's Weezer, The Flaming Lips, Primus, Slayer, No Effects, Gogol Bordello, Die Antwood, Newfound Glory, Failure, Buzzcocks, All, La Dispute, Mineral, Big Fredia, The Orwells, Skaters, Nostalgia, My Body Sings Electric, and Tiny Moving Parts, which is nothing in comparison to Saturday and Sunday. But that's a really long list. Why don't you read this one?
We don't even do it all, but The Cure ends the night on Saturday night. They do
Are they the headliners?
9:30 to midnight.
Wow.
I
What about
know.
Social D? When are
Social
they playing?
D. Social D is right before that. And then A Day to Remember, The Descendants, Bring Me to the Horizon, City in Color, Lucero, The Used, Talking Back, Sunday, Clutch.
Taking Back Sunday, my sister
Taking Back
liked them-
Sunday,
liked them like a lot.
I don't even know who they are, but I mean that was part of what was fun last year is going to these little bands that I had never heard of. Like The Descendants are a Colorado band, right?
I think so.
Bless you, bless you.
Coming through.
I mean, it's just some of those smaller bands are so much fun.
Well, and Clutch should be relatively popular.
And then on Sunday's pretty fun. Wait, you're strolling down.
Well,
Who
sorry,
am
I just wanted to
missing?
see if there was anybody else. Yeah, I don't recognize anybody else for Saturday.
Wait, Saturday, Paul's band is. Which band is this? I don't remember. I have no idea, but I mean, some other little bands that people really enjoy.
Sunday should be good though, because it's Wu-Tang Clan and Sublime and Rise Against and the Violent Femmes and Dropkick Murphys.
I've never seen the Dropkick Murphys. I'm super excited.
That should be a good one.
I heard they're really funny live. Have any of you guys seen the Dropkick Murphys live? No. I really want my kid to see The Cure and the Violent Femmes.
My youngest is going to be sad that she doesn't get to see 303. I'm going to have to take
Oh,
pictures.
I hate
send them to her.
303. That song. Oh my gosh. You know what? Don't trust a hoe.
Nope. Right. That's right. That's right.
Oh my gosh. I know. Ridiculous.
Yeah, the Violent Femmes are playing. What day? That day? Yep.
Violent Femmes are on Sunday, kind of late afternoon, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, it's going to be really fun. iCannabis Radio will have a booth there. Edson, Mayton, and Matt's will have a booth. Come by. We have a little bit of swag. And, you know, just give us your email address so you make sure you get all this information.
All 3 days?
All 3 mother effing days.
Nice. This is one hell of a concert. for
It's really
3
fun.
days.
I'm so
This is
excited to go.
You're going all
massive.
3 days, right? Yeah.
This is a massive lineup. Who are you most excited to see?
Diane Ward.
I'm pretty excited too, actually. I don't know.
So I asked Warren. I know who he's most excited to see. Who are you most excited to see?
Probably the Violent Femmes.
Nice.
I mean, these old school bands that I've never seen live before, that I may never see live again. I want my kid to be able to
Say that he saw him.
Yeah.
Because really, you can get your portfolio rather large just in this weekend.
That's how last year was great. Oh, Warren is really excited to see
The Buzzcocks.
the Buzzcocks.
Because they're OG punk.
Totally. And he is like OG punk. I mean,
Yeah.
he is. So going to see a punk show with Warren is like this. I'm going to be lost on the camera. But, it's not where people jump up and down anymore. It's like it was before, like, old school punk is what like the Seattle grunge bands became. So this is how you watch a show. And you're wearing like a wool cap and a flannel.
Just with that little bit of disapproving look. That the anti.
The whole time. That's it. That's what you do the whole time. And I'm like, and Warren's just, I mean, it is hilarious. It is hilarious. Now, sometimes if Gavin's with us or whatever, Gavin will be on his shoulders and he'll kind of, I don't know, I don't want to call it dancing, but he'll sway to the music.
He'll groove a little.
He'll grr.
All right.
But yeah. So let's take a break and then let's talk more marijuana.
Hell yes.
Hell yes.
All right, we'll be right back.
The law offices of Edson, Maiden, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it. On Grass. Runongrass.com.
And we're back.
Half of that was in English and half of that was in Spanish.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what just happened there. That was kind of funny.
I don't know. It was adorable.
I'm just going to keep stealing drinks of this. This is good.
That's okay. You can have the rest.
She needs her milkshake. She needs to grow.
Somebody must be in trouble because they're calling here at 6:18.
Either that or they don't want to talk to anybody. They just want to leave a message.
Oh, okay. Didn't think
That's
of
what
that.
I think that's what sometimes people do as well. So you had a conversation with Warren and you found out all kinds of scoop. What did you find out today? Oh, you got a new thing. Oh, you just put a sticker on it.
Put a sticker on it. Well, let's have a look at what's going on
Trust
tomorrow.
a hoe. Are we gonna get kicked off of YouTube if I do that again?
As
No,
long as we
okay.
don't show any copyrighted clips or anything
Copyrighted.
like that. Clips. Like don't show any of their
Because these are
video.
copyrighted.
Not tits. Clips. Anyways, so tomorrow, let's see. This is a nice little summary. Some of the things, like the doctor, what was the one that I kind of brought up and was all like gung ho about, and then he said this, and it was like, oh, fuck, you're right. Where it's the kind of the Equality Act, whereas we're still being discriminated against because we're cannabis users. Whereas you can go to a doctor and get prescribed, oxys, and there's no second check or questions or any of that, and you can get it as long as you pay for the doctor visit and he writes it for you. You go to the pharmacy, boom, you're, swimming in narcotics.
Bless you.
Excuse me, thank you. And so the kicker was that he said, well, it's not the same. That is a prescription. This is a recommendation. And it's like, aha. So, yes, it's kind of valid. That part sucks, but shit happens. they're going to amend the caregivers thing. He says they're for sure going to outlaw blasting, like home blasting in Denver.
So Denver is trying really hard to. So Denver has a city council meeting tonight and a special marijuana subgroup meeting tomorrow. And tomorrow they're going to talk about a couple of things, but primarily making it illegal to make BHO extracted hash in a residence. And
But that's only in Denver.
Correct,
Now,
that's Denver.
It's quite likely that municipalities will start following suit afterwards, as Denver does, but who knows?
As Denver does, there goes the world.
Tends to happen.
But I mean, there's some pros and cons about doing it. I mean, certainly it's yet another stomp on our first personal freedoms. But let's be honest, there are people who are blasting who don't know what they're doing, and it can be really dangerous.
Right. Oh, I totally agree. But it always messes things up for those of us that know what we're doing. The one kid that falls off his bike cracks his head and a new law
Everyone
comes
has to
up.
wear helmets.
Exactly. It's like, wow, so 1/1000th of a percent of the population does something, and now we can justify it by.
But that's laws in general, right?
Oh,
Most
yeah.
people don't commit major felonies. They're not stealing cars. Most people are not stealing cars. But guess what? Some people steal cars. Thus, they had to say, you know what? Because you couldn't figure this out on your own, that it's not okay to steal cars.
Right.
We're going to have to enact a law and punish you for stealing a car. Because you have not figured out that you don't know what you're doing, and you could blow up not just your house, but the house next to yours, or it could not even be your house.
Right.
And I'm not a huge fan of limiting our freedoms over and over and over and over again. But when that's what you see on the news, and that's what gets people all freaked out. And this has nothing to do with licensed businesses. Licensed businesses already have what the city considers a strong enough set of rules and requirements to be able to get licensed, to be able to make BHO. It just means that you can't do it in your own home as a private person.
Right. So, what do you know about HB 1284 sunsetting in July of next year?
So, the rules that govern medical marijuana, as do most rules, have an expiration date. And that expiration date is next summer, a little under a year from now. So somewhere between now and then, one of a few factors will happen. One, they'll just sunset, which means they'll just go away, and there'll be no medical marijuana program anymore.
Which sounds good until you start getting into it, because 1284 sucked until
You no longer have a medical marijuana program.
right, and then when that goes away, it's wreck for everybody, and then your $65 eighths are on you, and they're not going to be that great.
Well, and I got to say that when medical marijuana goes away, I'm not exactly sure why there'll be many CBD options for people. I mean, maybe there'll be enough of a patient base that will want stores to grow CBD plants, but lots of rec folks really want to get high. Fabulous. That's not what you do with CBD.
Nope.
So, so some of the things that we have worked so hard to achieve for patients will go away.
It's amazing.
So that's one option. They'll just sunset. Another option is that they will renew them, go through the process to say, yep, we're going to keep everything the same and put a new expiration date on them. And then the third option is they will tweak the rules.
That one's
The most likely.
the most likely.
Because you can't possibly just keep something the same, can you? Were you offering that to me? I'm just kidding.
I didn't touch it, but yeah. Do you want to jump in?
No,
real quick?
thank you.
Are you sure?
I just feel like we say that as much as we say poop.
We should though. It's good to share.
So we'll certainly know more as we get closer to. It's not like they ever do anything quickly.
So they're talking about limiting the caregivers to down to 10 patients, statewide? Mm-hmm. So, and then according to this article here on ladybud.com, it says this new rule is targeted at only 4 people. According to the CDPHE rulemaking packet, only 4 out of 2,896 caregivers that have voluntarily registered with the CD.
Stop that for a second. These folks went ahead and got registered, decided that they would do that on their own without being required to register.
Right, voluntarily registered. Voluntarily. So these people, like you said, here, I'm willing to share this information with you guys.
I want to be as legit as possible.
Right. So only 4 of them have more than 10 patients. So that means that the proposed caregiver rules are targeted at 0.001% of the caregivers that have voluntarily registered.
So I don't understand the point.
Well, that's that whole thing that we were talking about. One kid falls off his bike and hurts his head, and everybody has to wear a helmet on a bike now. And,
right.
Same kind of thing. It's whatever. There's a lot going on. Let's see what else. So this one's the CDPHE proposed rules require patients to register their caregivers with the CDPHE. Proposed new regulations, new regulation 2A, requires patients to register their caregivers with the CDPHE. There is no constitutional requirement for caregiver registration under Amendment 20. Once again, the CDPHE seeks to overstep its constitutional authority. And this keeps going, of course. But,
well, the idea is,
the fees.
The general public would say, gosh, what do you have to hide? Why don't you register so that we know, the fire department knows, all those kinds of things. Why not just go ahead and register? And the reality is that
we have rights in this country, damn it. Why not just let the cops in and search your house? Why not? Why not just talk to them?
Because you'll go to jail.
Exactly. But why not?
Right. Well, and I would love to be able to be in an environment in which the police see their role is to serve and protect. But as we've talked about before, they don't see their role that way, unfortunately. I'm sure that there are some officers that feel like they really want to protect people, and that's what their whole philosophy is. But unfortunately, they sort of get that trained out of them, and it becomes this is the rule, and they have to follow it. And if they're not following the law, then they're bad people, and therefore you must rid the community of bad people, and that's how they're protecting us. And that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
As well, it shouldn't. There's a lot of craziness going on. A lot. The fees, there's something with all these costs. They're trying to move money around, I guess. Their proposed rules illegally used over-collected patient fees to pay for the Colorado Medical Marijuana Research Grant Program. Article 18, Section 14 of the state constitution requires that patient fees can only be used to pay for administrative costs of maintaining the confidential medical marijuana registry. According to the state auditor's report in 2013, the CDPHE had a $12 million surplus from over-collected patient fees and was failing to keep the registry confidential. $12 million in overcharges.
And that's why the cost to register got lower and lower and lower and lower, because the cost to run the program was nowhere near what they thought it was going to be.
And it's absolutely silly. It's not that hard to keep medical records confidential.
No. Well, and the other thing that they do that doesn't make a lot of sense, and hopefully with the new red cards that are going to be coming out at some point, it won't happen anymore. But, every year, because you're required to renew, you get a brand new card with a brand new number. And that's just one more thing that they have to track. Whereas if they just issued you a card that didn't have an expiration date, or had an expiration date that you then I don't even know how they want to do it, but I mean, if you had a database and we could go in and ensure that that card was valid, it just makes so much more sense. I mean, they're so worried about every year someone has to go and renew. You're spending all this money reissuing cards, mailing them out. If there's something wrong in the, if your T's aren't crossed and your I's aren't dotted, then they have to send you a rejection notice and you have to do it all over again. And that always all takes unnecessary time and money. This doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't.
Or rocket surgery, as our former George Bush would say.
Or rocket surgery.
It's not rocket surgery, man. But still, what else do we got here?
I think one of the things that's hard. I'm sorry, did I interrupt?
Oh no, I was just gonna go on to something else.
I think one of the things that's hard is that medical marijuana is not new in Colorado. You've been doing this just because in 2009 all the stores popped up. I mean, we've been doing this for a lot longer than that. Essentially since 2001. So kind of the rest of the state is sort of catching up on this minority, because now all of a sudden everyone can purchase. And so now they have everyone 21 and over can purchase. Now they have a vested interest in all of these rules. And so they're calling their city council people and they're calling their congressmen and talking about their concerns. And so what do politicians do? They respond when people make those calls and have those concerns. And so much of this comes out of, my constituents said. So if we stay quiet, if we don't voice that, hey, you know what? We disagree with completely eliminating blasting, if that's what you want to disagree with. If they're not hearing the opposition, then
they assume that there isn't any.
That's right, and they're just going to move forward. They're assuming that they're listening to the concerns and addressing the concerns. It's what they're paid to do. And you know what? The people that are talking to them, they think are also going to vote, and so they want to make sure that those people get what they want. So be a voice. I mean, I feel like we've said it 1,000 times, but an email works wonders. A phone call, even better. Going to your city council person's office during their office hours, fantastic. But don't be an a-hole when you do it.
No, because they don't read it. And don't just copy and paste what you might get emailed to you. CTI sends out great emails, whether you like Laura Creho or not. But they always give you a letter that you could just copy paste and add your name and send it to the proper person. But they read that same email one time. When they start to read it again and they're like, oh, I've seen this before, they stop reading every one of them. And they just discount them. So you need to write something original. Just read it and be inspired. And
you don't have to be that creative even.
You don't. Just say 3 sentences, exactly how you feel. Just don't be a dick about it. I mean, that's the other thing is you get discounted. Unfortunately, I mean, let's be honest. If you're not putting your best face forward, and you guys all know this, then someone's going to make a judgment call, and that's kind of the unfortunate reality. It really is.
The other unfortunate reality
Nobody
is
likes to get yelled at. And if you get an email where you're yelling at somebody because you want something changed,
right,
they're going to get through part of it and say, I'm not, all right, you're gone. I won't even finish reading it because nobody wants to get yelled at, especially if you're not right in front of their face and they don't have to deal with it.
That's right.
So any negativity in an email just doesn't get read.
Facts are the best way to go about it.
Correct.
Or if you can somehow wrap it into being about your kids, that works too.
Well, apparently, I've been learning since marijuana. Thank you very much. Whatever.
Since marijuana.
That candy is just for children. I didn't realize that.
Oh, should I spit this out?
I guess. I mean, it smells like bubble gum in here, so you guys have succeeded. But
Shelby.
But candy is just for children. 2 things have led me to this thing. One of them being marijuana, but it's Halloween. And when you say, "Well, I'm going to go trick or treating," they say, "Well, that's just for kids." It's like, wait, so you're going to send your kid out to get 10 pounds of fucking candy and I can't have it? That's stupid. And then 2, with all of the news stories about candy for kids, the marijuana candy is going to get into kids' hands because it's made for kids and kids. When the fuck did candy become only for kids? When? At what point, ladies and gentlemen? And if that's the case, what's the problem? I mean,
Yeah.
if candy is for kids, then I don't even want to get started.
And it's not. I think the issue needs to be clarified, which we can do right after we take this break, about really what the concern is, and it's being thinly veiled in that.
Exactly. So
We'll be right back.
Yep.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it on grass. Runongrass.com.
The law offices of Edson, Maton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
And
I'm gonna hiccup.
Oh, do it right now.
I fixed it.
Oh.
I cured myself. So we're talking a little bit about, when is candy for kids and how did.
What's with the obsession of saying that candy is just for kids? Like, why? What with all the direction?
So
going that way?
so here's what I think is the attempt to clarify, and the way that I think it should happen. So we certainly don't want a kid to be confused when they see candy. We don't want a confusion as to that's a candy I could have versus that's an adult's candy. Okay, so we don't want any confusion. You can say a good parent would put it away. You can say a good parent would lock it up. You can say a good parent would teach their kids not to take candy. You can say all of those things. Okay. The unfortunate reality is kids don't do what we say. And depending on the kid's age, if they saw gummy bears, my personal favorite, they would take a handful because they're freaking delicious. And if accidentally there was confusion with a medicated or infused candy versus a kid candy, that could be a scary situation. Okay? So really,
easy killer.
To me, the issue isn't that candy isn't for adults, because I don't know about any of you guys. I eat candy almost every day.
Yep.
Almost every day.
I do.
Yep.
I do.
Yep. And okay, I eat candy every day.
Right, at least a piece.
Every day.
Yeah.
But I agree that I don't want a kid to have a scary situation. I don't want a parent to have their kid have a scary situation. So what's the answer? What's the answer so that a little kid doesn't get confused when a piece of chocolate looks just like a piece of chocolate? Is it label it better? Is it put the stamp on it so it has a big weed on it? Is it make it all look the same, package it all the same? I don't know but those are all the things that the state subcommittee are talking about doing.
A kid's not going to care, though. It's not going to look at a piece of chocolate that might be sitting out and go, oh, that's a leaf on there. I shouldn't eat that. I mean, they might, but they might not. They might just grab it. I mean, how are they supposed to stamp a gummy bear or those little raspberry candies that they just have to inject because it's the exact same thing as the
spray?
Oh, they
spray it.
Oh, that's fucking
gross.
lame.
It's gross. But people love them. But you're right. How are you going to do those things? And therein lies the issue. How are we going to ensure that there's at least some kind of difference? Unfortunately, for kids, like the edible makers are so skilled that stuff tastes good.
Right.
It does not smell bad. I mean, some does. I could go through the brands if you want me to. Most of it doesn't smell like hash or doesn't smell like weed, or I mean, it might have a slight aftertaste, but for the most part, they have really, really come up in the world and make darn good edibles that someone could eat and wouldn't know that they're eating something.
Right.
So having said that, I think it's less about, that candy isn't for adults, but more, is there a way to make it less attractive to kids? Is there a way to do that? And I don't know if there is or not. I mean, you bring up a lot of good points about all of these items that are out there that it would be really hard to somehow stamp them or identify them or those kinds of things.
Well, you know what else is kind of like,
What else?
What else is kind of like the other is and I know most people don't like to give their kids soda, but a lot of people do. And beer cans are an awful lot like soda cans. And there's nothing on the label that says, I am a beer and I should only be consumed by people 21 and over, except that little tiny whatever. But kids don't pick up a can and go, fuck, what is this?
I don't know. I mean, you may be right, but
But-
I think there's a lot more name recognition. Like, kids are going to go after something if it looks like a Coke can or a Sprite can. Those are names that they know and they recognize.
Right.
But if they saw someone poured a beer into a glass, that's not a smell or something that most little kids are going to be drawn to, like they would if someone poured a soda, maybe with some whiskey or whatever you put. What do
Right.
you put in with Coke? Coke and what?
Jack.
Yeah, whiskey.
Whiskey.
Yeah. So,
Some Crown.
but still, they,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, and that was really wasn't a fair comparison. But it's just the same where everything's kind of lumped into this same, sort of bullshit. That it's just kids candy, kids candy, kids candy, and it's like, what? Why is it always? I mean, I get that it's always about the kids because that's a fail-safe go-to when you need a political agenda that has something big to float on. You
Yes,
can
but-
always use the kids.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, you're right, but the reality is that, I mean, I don't want an adult to accidentally eat something either. But you know what? If you as an adult accidentally eat something, I don't really care that much. I do
but-
care if a kid eats something. That does pull at my heartstrings, and I do want to. If you're an adult and you ate someone else's something, shame on you.
So let me ask you a question because I'm just really curious in general. At what age does somebody become an adult? Like,
When I get there, I'll let you know.
okay.
I mean, legally.
Well, legally, sure, 18. But I'm saying, at what age do we stop caring? Because it's always about the kids. But once they graduate high school, you're on your own. Tough shit.
I mean, I don't know that I necessarily have this demarcation where someone. I mean, I have
Like if a
friends whose kids.
16-year-old eats something,
I'd feel bad.
an 18-year-old,
I'd feel bad.
19-year-old,
Yes.
20,
Yep.
21,
Yes.
22,
Maybe.
23.
Maybe.
So we're finding our threshold.
Probably.
Okay. So between 21 and 25.
Yeah. I mean, I was
26,
thinking about.
you're like, fuck, you just dumbass.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about I have friends who have kids that are in college, and I would feel bad if one of them accidentally ate an edible, but they would probably not be scared. They'd probably figure it out. They'd probably wait it out. Hopefully, their friends would be like, dude, go take a nap. We'll see you in 12 hours. Not a big deal.
Unless they went to the Denver County Fair, then they went to the hospital, and now they're suing.
Right.
Pussies.
But
Go
then
to the
again,
Pop Pavilion, you ate some chocolate from a dispensary.
See,
and
we're
you're
gonna,
totally shocked.
Yeah, we're going to disagree with that. There were signs everywhere.
I know. I totally.
everywhere.
I totally agree with that. If you go and you grab a gun that says this gun has blanks in it because this is a movie prop, and you start shooting at people and you kill 3 people, but hey, it's a gun. No, I totally get it. But that kind of just goes against what you're saying. I mean, they went with other people and they ended up going to the hospital. They came back and they're suing. And it's like,
I don't know. I mean, I got to tell you,
it's very split on that one.
If-
It's a toughie.
It's-
Because yes, they were told, no, there's no weed in here. But you did eat weed, or you did eat chocolate from a weed place at the county fair in a special weed pavilion.
right, and they told me that there was nothing in it. Therefore, when I started feeling strange, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, that would be what.
But they should have thought, well, okay, maybe there was weed in there, and maybe this is what it's like, and this is pretty intense. I should just chill out and try what they
But if you don't know, I mean, let's give credit to people who went exploring in the Pop Pavilion,
True.
who knew nothing about it. And I get where you're coming from, but I'm pretty
it's easier
frustrated.
from this side to say it that way because I'm more biased. So yeah, you're right. We do need to assume from an
I'm biased
inexperienced person's point of view.
I'm biased too. But what
You're
they
right.
did, what Livewell did when they had infused chocolate in a place where no one was expecting it was horrible.
Did that ever come to fruition? Did that investigation ever conclude? Did they ever
I
find
mean,
out
I don't know. We
anything?
could talk to Scott. I mean, as far as I know, Livewell was saying, yeah, we messed up, and they were offering to pay people's medical bills and so forth, and which all people want is a few dollars, pay their
Right.
medical bills, give them a little bit of mad money, and they're pretty much good to go. But it's not okay to me. It's not okay that you don't follow the rules enough to be able to have someone take some infused product out of your warehouse. I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of really specific rules as to how that happens. I mean, there's
Right.
this thing called a manifest, and anytime you move anything from point A to point B, it has to be done.
Yep.
If you produce something that's infused that has none of the correct labeling on it, you've broken yet another rule.
Lots of rules.
Lots of rules. And so all of that to me is very frustrating that as far as at least the public knows, that's all kind of disappeared.
Right. Things are getting crazier.
Well, and I'll tell you, I've had some conversations with some people at the Med, and they say all the time, that they do all of these investigations. They have confiscated and destroyed pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds of product, but we don't know any of that. So as far as we know, they don't do anything. They don't do anything, but every once in a while, when their backs are against the wall, they're forced to make some busts, and we hear about it. But they do, at least according to what I'm being told, they do so much more. And I think that they ought to somehow talk about and give out their statistics because it doesn't feel like people have to follow the rules. Because if Livewell can get away with bringing infused samples to the Pop Pavilion, there's something wrong there, in my humble opinion.
Well, and there's, when you put so many restrictions down, there's bound to be things that slip through. I mean,
Right.
I'm kind of glad it did because maybe that will, I don't know. I'm not really always one for the rules. Some things are there for a good reason, stop signs, red lights,
Right.
that kind of shit. But there's so many, it would be really sweet if one day somebody ran for president and said, I will hire a whole team of D law regulators or whatever.
Right, right,
That go
right.
through and say, okay, this law's fucking stupid. This law's dumb and outdated. This law's bad. This law's bad. Get rid of them all. And they're just, axed from the thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad laws.
There's a lot of bad laws.
And in a land supposedly supposed to be the freest country in the world, not only do we imprison more people than any other country, but look at our laws. I mean, we profit from lawmaking and incarcerating people.
That's right.
But that's on a whole different thing. I don't even want to get started.
We have to take one quick break.
So before we do, I want to just say that quick Halloween endorsement and say that Halloween is for all ages, ladies and gentlemen. This whole it's for kids thing, let's put it into quick perspective.
I know what I'm going to be.
2 things for Halloween. You dress up like demons and you go out and get free candy. So is this really what we want for our children, or is this kind of an all ages thing? Think this through. We'll be right back.
The law offices of Edson, Maiden, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it on grass. Runongrass.com.
And see, that's all of us might have been zoned out there. These things
Want
happen.
to say, remind you to contact Cuffle Collmore and Company if you have some insurance needs. And man, if you're in this business, you definitely have needs. You have some needs.
You have some needs that need to be met.
You have some needs that need
meet
to be,
those.
yeah. So visit them on the web at cufflecollmore.com. Make sure you talk to Bob at rtc@cufflecollmore.com or Bob at cufflecollmore.com. And he can help you out with a quote if you own a business, if you own a grow. You definitely want to make sure that you're covered because people sue. People sue people. It's what they do.
It happens.
We live in a very litigious society, and even if you don't do anything wrong, you need to make sure that you're covered. And if sometimes things happen, like legitimately happen, someone falls and hurts themselves, you want to make sure that you're able to cover those medical bills. Just want to say that.
And it's good to know that there's people out there that are on our side. For one.
They're on our side. That's
'Cause
right.
it seems like everyone's out against us. There's just pounds and miles of rules and all these things that are going down and changing, and they're not really for our benefit.
So call 877-335-1234. That's the new number.
What new number?
CuffleCollmore.com.
Okay.
877-335-1234.
Nice.
So we have a poop story, from
Right.
what I understand.
Right. So Shelby has found the poop story that she was looking for. So sorry if you're eating.
If
right
you're
now.
if you're looking for a poop story,
You found it.
you found it.
If you weren't, sorry. But these things happen, as does whatever's going to happen in this story. So, are you sure this is okay? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Shelby.
So if not, it's on her. But sometimes we like to bring you controversial and crazy talk. So this is an anonymous story because
Is this you, Shelby? Did you write this?
No.
because whatever happened here. Well, this is from a site on Facebook called Oilfield Confessions. So
It's Montana life.
we're not
Well,
not making this
North
stuff
Dakota.
up. We're
North
just,
Dakota.
We're just reading it from a little phone.
Are those different places,
You can unplug
Montana
it.
and North Dakota?
Yes.
They are. They're different. Okay.
2 different states.
Well, but beyond that, are they different?
Well, kind of.
Okay. Get it.
Not really.
Well, I mean,
It's
I
all
think,
the same.
I
If
think
you sneeze
cowboys,
at the
when I think
border,
of-
you just don't know. It's all the same shit. Is
Okay.
that what you're saying?
I just thought Montana. I think cowboys. South Dakota. I think
Indians?
penguins.
Penguins.
Penguins? I think Sturgis.
I think Sturgis
Motorcycles.
also. Yeah.
When
that's
we're
true.
talking about what? North Dakota? South Dakota?
I don't know. I think all the Dakotas
And like
must be
Mount
really
Rushmore.
cold.
I always think of Mount Rushmore when I think of South Dakota
Wow.
and
I
natives.
I probably should have said that.
North Dakota is like Lewis and Clark.
It's not far.
You, me, Gavin Warren,
Drive
bring
me up
their
there.
daughter.
I said drive
We'll
me
sing
up there.
Frozen songs
I'll take you up there.
as loud as we can.
Especially if we go the wrong way for an hour.
Wrong way.
It'll get you
No,
there.
wait.
And you just never know what crazy things you'll see. Anyway,
Okay,
so
read
this
the poop story.
this is an oil field confession story from where? Just is North Dakota.
Round North Dakota, Montana.
All right. So
Call
if
it Mondak.
what she said. So if you're an oil field person, this might be happening to you one day. So I don't know, but it is from anonymous. Today, as I was loading a load of oil, I felt this large kick in my gut. I knew that. God damn! I should have read this first.
Am I going to need to read this?
It would be better if a woman read this, I'm sure, but whatever.
You're fine. Go ahead.
I knew that it had to be from drinking myself senseless after seeing my ex-girlfriend the night before. I knew I was in dire distress. I was close to finishing loading, so I had to muster up all my might to hold in the explosive acidic bomb that was boiling in my lower bowel until I could shut the valve and go find somewhere to squat with my roll of paper towel. But it was too late. As I closed my valve and walked towards the truck, my butthole burst. This is terrible. A barrage of shit fire blew out. I asked you if this was safe. You said yes. A barrage of shit fire blew out of my asshole like fireworks on the 4th of July. As I stood in front of my door, absorbing what just happened, I had no idea what to do. I could already feel the burning acidic beer shits escaping from my tighty whities and into one-piece long johns. Oh, into my one-piece long johns. This This is why I personally don't
This
drink.
is so sad.
This poor person.
I'm so sad.
As I stood in front of my door, absorbing what just happened, I had no idea what to do. I could already feel the burning. Did I already? Holy shit.
Let's move forward.
My fate was sealed. I held back my tears as I threw my hose on the truck and climbed up onto the cab to sit
Don't
in
trust a hoe.
my fresh acidic mixture. Don't trust a hoe. As I looked at my load list, I knew I still had a good 5 hours of work ahead. So I rolled down my windows and took a deep breath as I wallowed in my own shit. As I settled in my seat, I could feel it bubbling between my balls and running down my leg to my sock.
Are you sad?
Now
I'm so
within
sad.
5 hours, I sit in my shit, or no, with 5 hours ahead, I sit in my shit and cry my self-pity away. Keep on trucking.
Aw.
So when you guys are driving down the highway and you see a trucker sitting in his seat,
Yes.
there is probably a 1 in 10 chance that he has shit his pants and he is sitting there, not angry at you, but angry at the fact that he still has 13 more hours to drive, has no money to change his pants. He has poopy diapers on without the diaper. But maybe not. So maybe you don't want to just yell that at every trucker you see from now on. That
Who
might get
yells
you-
at truckers?
I don't know, but
I thought you're supposed to go like this. So they honk
right.
your horn.
Or you could go like,
See? Oh.
Did you poo? You?
That's mean.
Well, but then you could throw him like a box of Huggies or some wet wipes or something.
Because you carry that stuff around
If
with
I
you.
was ever
don't,
a
but-
trucker, I would carry like adult diapers just in case that ever happened.
That was a weird story. Thank you, Shelby, for sharing that.
Thank you, Shelby. We always are into poop stories, which is really weird, but it's true.
Right, yeah, it's like real life poop is disgusting and gross, but talking about it just doesn't stop being funny. It's funny shit.
I saw a 3-day-old baby today.
Oh, yeah? Nice. Is it speaking of poo?
Yeah, I was thinking about meconium diapers.
Oh,
The sticky poop at the beginning.
gross.
Yeah, it's so gross.
But that's the stuff that comes with no smell. It takes a few months or a few weeks or something, and then the smell
It's
comes in. And
sticky and
yeah.
oh, it's so gross.
more
It's
like
so
a-
gross. It's really hard to get off the baby bottom, but oh my gosh, this baby was so beautiful. She was absolutely it took my breath away. Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well, that's good.
yeah. No more babies for me.
No?
Oh, I mean, all babies in general. You have to like how aliens look.
Oh, right after they're born. It's just,
My son was perfect.
well, somebody's had to be, with everybody's kid looking like a wet, dehydrated grape alien.
Yeah, but you know,
Somebody-
he had 6 fingers on one hand when he was born.
And did they move it strategically to the other one?
No, I had done a lot of epidurals. I'd been up for a lot of hours, and I was miscounting. I was counting his fingers on one hand. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I was thinking about, oh, that's okay. There are major league pitchers who have 6 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, well, it'll be fine. He'll be fine. So then finally I took a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, and I touched each one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. He just has 5. That's typically what kids have is 5. Oh, we're good. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I was tired.
I'm glad that worked out.
I was
'Cause,
tired. I was already okay with it.
yeah. Well, see, that's good.
Yeah.
Usually when you're high and
Oh,
as
so-
kite, you'll be okay with most anything.
I know, right? I really wanted some sleep.
My mom didn't do epidurals with me.
She missed out.
Halfway through, she wanted like the drugs.
And then
They
it was
were
too
like-
late.
They were like, "It's too late. It's too late."
I think they tell you that. You know, I mean, I'm all about doing whatever you want to do when you have a baby. I mean, whatever works the best for you. But people do feel like this unbelievable sense of sort of accomplishment when they have popped out this beautiful baby girl named Shelby completely naturally without anything to numb the experience. So I think that's fantastic.
Well, and chances are somebody told her and said, natural childbirth is amazing. Try it. You'll love it. And she did. And she's like, no, fuck you. But see, it's when it's done, you're like, oh, yeah, that was no big deal. But
And then
during
you do it. The reason why we have more kids, I mean, not me in particular, but the reason why people have more kids is because you pretty quickly forget that horrible experience because what you get is you. And it's so worth it immediately. It's so worth it. You would have had it hurt 500 times more to have the same results, guaranteed. And I know she felt that way.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, which is a very wonderful note to wrap up.
We had to do something better than that poop story for a finale. Like, Jenny used
Shelby-
to do these bedtime stories that always left you feeling like, oh, dang, that was nice. That was the antithesis of that.
You know what? Shelby brought content to the show.
She did,
I'm
and that
thrilled.
was great. So I'm really glad
thrilled.
that you shared that. That
Yes.
was just, I should have read that first. That was intense. But I thought, no, I want to find out when our listeners find out. Not the best idea.
So remember, on Wednesday, the Adam Dunn Show from 11:30 to 1:30, and the Hemp Connoisseur Magazine from 4 to 5 p.m. on Thursday. If you're interested in doing a show on iCannabis Radio, contact us. Let us know. Email us. Do our custom form submission, and let us know. We'd be happy to talk to you, and we are looking for all kinds of shows, whether it's cannabis related or not. We would love to talk to you about joining our team. I want to thank our sponsors, Edson Maton and Matts, Noda Urban Garden Supply, Medical Marijuana of the Rockies, Run on Grass, and of course, Cuffle Collimore and Company.
Yay, thank you.
877-335-1234.
Every time I hear 1, 2, 3, 4 now, to this day, I still think Spaceballs comes to mind because the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 combination.
Awesome.
So, if you're going to be out in Denver this weekend, come and stop by and see us at the Riot Fest.
Yes,
if we're not at our
please.
booth, we're out rocking to some sweet band trying to find some weed, so bring us some. Especially Georgia, because she loves to smoke it, which is totally not true, but,
We'll smoke it for her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
smoke it for her.
Yeah, they always do.
Like,
They always
we'll
do.
find people to smoke it for her. We care.
So Happy Mondays continues. If you have some happy stories that you want to share with us in stupendous September or outrageous October or naughty November, I don't know.
Ooh. It has to be Naughty November because then it has to be
December.
Merry December, Decadent December, or can't be Merry December. Dirty December.
No, then we're doing the wrong show again.
Right, because you have to do the naughty right before the nice, but D and N aren't the same letter, so it has to be
We'll probably figure this out.
Decadent December or some
Delicious
bullshit.
December.
Delicious December.
Ooh, but then we'd have to talk about food. We'd be a food show for a month. I could be down with
We
that.
could have all kinds of edibles folks on for December. It sounds fantastic.
See, look, we're already thinking ahead.
That sounds
So on
great.
that note, you just got a preview for the rest of 2014. Aren't you special?
But be sure to join us next week, and we love our Happy Mondays.
We do. Oh my God, we love you guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.